sight of the stars make me dream.
Oh man, that was my first intro. First time I ever used that intro.
I love it.
It was cool.
Yes.
I loved it too. Hey guys, this is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. Hey, and today we're back in the Lion's Den. We are, man, I took the plane. I hope they don't get mad at me, but I took the plane to Baltimore, Maryland to talk to a team named Berkeley.Paranormal. Now, guys, when I first reached out to these guys, and the first thing that came to my mind, and I'm like, Baltimore, Maryland got paranormal investigators. I really didn't think that there were any, paranormal investigators there. When I first think about Baltimore, I'm just thinking, it's right up the street from DC. You think about all the politics and all the BS that comes with it. But yeah, man, they got paranormal investigators in Baltimore. Hey guys, introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Kathy.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Beth.
All right. Hey, you know what? I'm a little bit curious about what you guys do up there in Baltimore. Tell the world a little bit about what your team is about and how you guys came to be.
Okay, we came to be as a team about 10 years ago, and we have had members that unfortunately had passed away and added new members. So this is our current team, part of it. I do have a couple other team members. We will investigate just about anything and everything that intrigues us. We have done private homes. We have done jails. We have gone to
Churches.
haunted attractions. We've gone to churches. So anywhere that we get a call that there might be some activity, we're willing to go. And each of us brings something different to the table.
And you know what? And I love that because I am not, my team is not that team that just like to focus on one thing. My team, hey, you got to be versatile in this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You have to be.
We've also visited, we've been on a radio station in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So we did a little bit of work in Pennsylvania also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey, man, Pennsylvania, very interesting place.
It is.
A lot of history.
Definitely.
Lots of history. Now, you guys say you like to investigate everything.
Yes.
No stone unturned.
Yes.
Hey, man, I like that. I really do, because there's a lot of teams out there that are focused on one thing and one thing only. And you know what? And the thing about paranormal investigators is you have to start out somewhere.
Yes.
And you know what? And where's the best place to start off is a cemetery.
But we've done that too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's where I started, actually. Yes.
But some people, some paranormal teams out in the world think that is a little bit beneath them.
Right.
There's no activity there. There's nothing going on there. It's just a place where we go to rest. Do you guys believe that?
Yes and no. I personally believe that if the person is fully at rest and they're work on earth is done, you will generally not get a reaction if you go to the cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
If they are still connected to a place or family that is still here, we find that we can get responses. My two investigators were at a cemetery, and I was not getting anything in the part that I was at. However, they have an interesting story, and I'll let them tell it.
Basically, we were at a cemetery, and Kathy and John went to one section.
Mm-hmm.
Beth and I went to another section. We had our K2 meters, we had our recorders, and we're walking and talking. And basically, I said, this is a cemetery. There's got to be somebody here that wants to talk to us. And Beth and I sat down at a little bench, and I said, I guess nobody wants to come talk to us. And the next thing, we played the recorder back, and we heard somebody say, I can't.
Oh, wow.
And I looked at her, and she looked at me, and we both said, what did you hear? And she said, I heard, I can't. We immediately went over to John and Kathy, and we played it for them and said, what did you hear? They said, it's clear as day, I can't. And just at that time, a car pulled up. A family got out, walked down to the gravesite that we were standing next to put flowers down.
Oh, interesting.
So 2 and 2 together tells us that the person was saying, I can't talk to you right now. I've got visitors coming.
Wow. Now, do you guys think that spirits, because I had an investigation last night, and I'm going to get to that in a minute because it kind of startled me when this person told me that. Is it possible that spirits can predict the future when they're going to be visited by loved ones at a cemetery or a certain location?
That's kind of a hard call. I think that in this particular situation, that maybe the family came every time at a certain, Saturday or Sunday,
Right.
a certain time, and maybe that they knew they were going to be there at that particular time. I have not had an experience to date where spirit has foretold the future.
Interesting. So I had an investigation last night, and I got a good friend of mine who is a clairvoyant, and I told her about where we were going, so she can jump in, and and she can see the things that we see. Well, before that even happened, there was a certain spirit that came to her and told her, hey guys, if you guys are going to come visit me at this location, can you please bring me some chocolate?
That I believe. Absolutely. That I believe.
And I'm like, oh my God, how did this spirit even jump into this? And it shocked me. But the thing is, guess what I forgot?
The chocolate.
The chocolate.
Oh no.
I forgot the chocolate, man. And you know what? And I thought about it when she was doing a visual with me because she's in Japan and I am in Texas. The only way that we can actually do an investigation is like that, which is fun, And I clearly forgot the chocolate. So please forgive me, guys. Whenever I get a chance to get back out there to that location, I will bring some chocolate.
We have a place that we have investigated a few times, and there's children involved there. Oh. And Kathy has brought toys.
Yes.
And for them to play with it, to play with the toys. So without having permission from the people to say where that is, it's a place that is open to the public during normal days, but it's closed for us to do investigations. And there was a child that passed away there, and we have a good rapport with that child. We also have another location that we go to where we were just there not long ago. Kathy had gotten there before I did and started with a group investigating. And I came in, we were a little late showing up, and the spirit was calling for me when I walked in the door, and they were up on the second floor. And she said, Frank will be here. Frank will be here. And I walked around the corner. I said, I'm right here. And they said, he's been asking for you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think you might have a little friend that
Well, in this particular case, it's set up as like a barber shop. And there's an old sign on the door or on the wall that says haircuts 25 cents. So when I go there, I always make sure I have 25 cents and I set it on the barber chair and I tell him, I don't need a haircut, but this is for your time to talk to me. And I leave the quarter on the barber chair.
Wow, cool. Do you think spirits appreciate gifts like that when you leave an offering and when you go out to a cemetery or you just in an investigation at a certain location where you leave $1 or 25 cents? Do you think they really appreciate that?
I do. If it's left with a loving heart, yes, I do.
Okay.
Because we don't just go in and say, we're not here to disrespect you. We're here to honor you. We don't want to intrude, but we would like to talk to you and find out your side of the story. And one of the things that we do that I really love is our team will go into a building like a museum. We'll have their permission. We will take people who are not investigators, give them our equipment, show them how to use it, take them to where the activity is, and let them do their own investigation. So we're teaching the next flow of investigators.
That is so cool, because it is really hard to do that with all the stuff and all the drama that's going on in Hollywood right now, as far as paranormal investigators.
Yes.
And I talked to all the teams that come on the podcast a little bit about the way that Hollywood portray us and the way that they, the light is a little different, than Hollywood, than actual paranormal investigators.
Right.
Well, we explain to the people when they come, as Kathy was saying, we will get a location and we will have people to come in to do their own investigations. And then we explain to them, it's not like you see on TV.
No.
This is not something that you can do on cue. When you watch something on TV, they are filming probably for a week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month to get that half-hour segment for you to enjoy on TV. So it's not like, something you're going to walk in right away and get a response at.
Okay. Yeah, man. I totally agree with you on that. Guys, can you tell me why are certain, I love the way you guys do it. Why do you think some paranormal investigators are closed to investigate in certain locations?
That's a tough call. We are open-minded to go anywhere at any time. Like I said, we've done private homes. We've done haunted attractions when it's off season for them because the land is actually haunted. And when we take people in there as a learning and how to, showing them how to use the equipment, I get a lot of pleasure from seeing someone who never held a piece of equipment get a reaction and see the look on their face. And it's like, you did this. You did not watch me do it. Because if you go on an investigation with me and I'm doing everything, what are you getting out of it?
Right.
You're watching me. So
we're just there to guide them.
Yes.
And they'd be there to help answer any questions that they may have.
Yeah. But I don't know why anybody would say, oh, I'm not going to do this, that, or the other location.
The
Mhm.
thing is the paranormal field has gotten so big that there's actually colleges now
Mhm.
that actually will teach paranormal
Yep.
classes.
Yes.
So, I mean, this is something that has gotten so big. It really has. And well, you have colleges that are doing it. And I love when I hear people go, "Oh, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that." They're the ones I want to take on an investigation.
Yeah.
Mm,
And they're
yeah.
the ones that I say, "You're going to do it. I'm going to stand back here." And when it happens and they do get something, it's like a 6-year-old at Christmas. You know, the
Mhm.
eyes light up and they look
Yeah.
at you like, "Oh, it's real." You
Right.
know?
You're actually right. You know, the one thing I love, and I think every paranormal investigator in the world loves, is to disprove a critic.
Mhm.
Oh man, dude, I love, the minute I see one, like you say, man, I'm the same way. I'm like, oh my God, dude, I got myself a critic here. Let me
Yeah.
see if I can get him.
Yep.
And you
Yep.
know what? And most of the time when I ask a certain critic to, hey, you want to come? They always say no.
Yes.
And the thing is, hey, give me the opportunity to prove my case.
Mhm.
So, I can prove you wrong, and maybe you'll change your mind. But you don't know, man. I don't want to go. I don't want to go hang out in this location or this place. I'm like, well, you know what? If you're gonna, that right there is telling me that you're narrow-minded, and I mean, and you want to continue being narrow-minded. That's up to you. All right, guys. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you guys a question. Why there's a certain there's a certain place nobody ever investigates, and I want to know if you guys would do it. Would you guys ever investigate a junkyard?
A junkyard?
You know what? I've never considered it, but absolutely, I would be down for that.
Yeah.
In
I
a
love the
in
car
a New
accidents.
York, yeah, in a New York minute.
Yeah, because you never know if any of those cars was involved in an
Yep.
accident.
Fatal
There was a
accident.
death that was in that car.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. And you
You
know
know,
what?
like I tell people, it's just it's people, places, and things.
Mhm.
They're attracted to people, to certain places, maybe a house or something that was very important to them, or an item that was very important to them that
Right.
may be passed on to somebody else. And then you'll hear that person say, ever since I've got, this person's personal effects, that I've been visited, I've been seeing things.
Mhm.
And it's when you narrow it down. We had an investigation where we went to a lady's house. She said she was seeing orbs all over the place. She was hearing different things, and we're investigating all over the house, all except for the bedroom. And I said to her, well, the only place we haven't been is in the bedroom. She said, be careful, I've got like 4 or 5 urns in there.
Mm.
And I was like, excuse me? And you're wondering why you have all this stuff
activity?
going on.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yep.
Wow, that is crazy. Yeah, man.
And it
Down
was
here,
funny. It was funny
that is
because
crazy.
the night that we were there,
No.
it just started snowing.
Yep.
Oh,
We were all in the house, and they had mentioned about, I think it was that they mentioned about a vehicle, or they mentioned something outside that had belonged to the last family member who entered the urn,
Yes.
entered the urns on the mantle.
Right.
And we were hearing some things in the garage. They went outside, and there was footprints around the car in the
Yeah.
snow, but yet nobody had been outside.
Yep. They even sent us a picture.
Yes.
It was after we left.
Yeah.
After we left. Yep.
Yep.
oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
Nobody had been out in the driveway, and there was footprints out there.
Mhm.
Interesting. Do you guys get busy? How is your schedule during the winter, the winter months? Are you guys active, or do you kind of slow down a little bit?
It usually slows down a little bit. 3 years ago, we had a case that we were called to a home because the 2-year-old child was getting harassed, let's say, by a spirit. The mother called, said, I have a 2-year-old that's not sleeping well. She's waking up with fingerprints, on her arms and things like that. So we went down and we were literally there almost every single weekend for like 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
It's in West Virginia.
Mhm.
It's in Harper's Ferry, which was part of the Civil War, all the battles and everything. After several times there, we made connection with a soldier. I had to step back because during that time,
Mm-hmm.
I had to realize that women were not as vocal as they are today.
Ah,
So I
okay.
had to let Frank and John take over the investigation because the spirit was not going to talk to me. Because back in that time, women were pretty much seen and not heard.
Mhm.
I actually wore an Army fatigue uniform
Mm-hmm.
and went out there in the field or out in the backyard,
Yeah.
and was able to speak with them because I was in uniform, and they respected that.
And you know what? I'm glad you did that, because the next question that I have for you guys is, what do you think music of a certain area, will help you guys get more communication? Do you think music of a certain area would actually help you guys do that?
Yes. For myself, I have to be very aware of the time period of the spirit that we're dealing with,
Mm-hmm.
because language has changed.
Right.
So I have to remember, okay, we didn't use this term, so that what we're saying now isn't going to make sense to them. We had an investigation, and Frank came up, and it was from the 1800s or early 1900s. And Frank, when he came in, he introduced himself as a constable.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as they weren't called police at that time. They were more referred to as constables.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be very aware of the language
Right.
during that time period.
Right. Now, are you guys able to see the comments on the
Yes.
board?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I got a question for you guys. And if I'm correct, this gentleman is out of South Africa, I believe so. If I'm correct, please put a yes in the comments.
There are times when we spend an evening and get absolutely nothing.
Not everything is paranormal.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get a call from somebody saying, "Hey, listen, I sit in my living room and I hear something clanging in the basement." Well, you go there and you go downstairs and you're standing there and you're waiting, and you say, "Can you go upstairs and run your hot water?" And they'll go run the hot water, and you hear something go clink, clink, clink in the basement. Well, there's your clink, clink, clink.
Yep.
You just got finished your shower. You went down. You're sitting there in your living room, and you're hearing the pipes either cooling down or heating up in your basement.
Mm-hmm.
It's not paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now, guys, we've all taken medication for different types of health problems that we have. And we got all these pharmaceuticals out there that are putting, they're not actually being honest with us on what they put in this medication. Now, some of this medication might help your heart, but it also might make you see things.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not going to tell you that. So if you guys had a percentage on what you would think would be more, it would be more mental than actual paranormal, what numbers would you guys have on that?
I think we've been pretty lucky with, we really haven't had, I mean, I questioned one investigation we did. I questioned but we kept working at it, and we actually did find what the person saying was going on. I mean, we sat in an attic for
That's right.
we sat in a
An
very hot
hour.
attic for over an hour and a half, because the person said that they heard it up in the attic. And I'm sitting up there with Kathy and sweating, and I'm thinking, is this lady really, how well do we know her?
Right.
So we got the idea, well, you know what? Maybe it doesn't know us. Let's bring her up too. So we brought her up in the attic with us, and we started getting things happening.
Yep.
So narrowing things down hours later, come to find out it was a family member, and there was things in the attic that belonged to the family member.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Long story short, I don't know if you guys ever listen to or watch any of my podcasts, but I came across a gentleman who got a phone call one day. It was a Sunday evening. I was at work, and I really thought he was playing with my head because he was telling me, hey, I need for you guys to come over here because I've got a situation. And I'm like, well, talk to me, brother. I got a couple of minutes at work. He's like, well, I've got, you guys are going to laugh. I've got giant cockroaches smoking my cigarettes and drinking my milk.
Alrighty then.
All right.
Okay.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah. So, when somebody calls you, you can't laugh at them.
No, right.
No.
Mhm, absolutely.
You got to take everything seriously.
Yes.
Mhm.
So, I got a team member. We went over, and caseworker started talking to him. In the meantime, I'm looking around, just seeing what I can see.
Mhm.
And the gentleman was like, well, hey, man, I'm waking up. There's milk on the counter. Milk is not, somebody's drinking my milk and smoking. And mind you guys, he did have he did have a bug problem. I give him, he did have a bug problem.
Okay.
So I can see where that's coming into. So he was like, well, can you guys help me out? So what we did was, the craziest thing, I saw a bunch of medication, so I'm looking, and I'm asking him, I'm like, hey, can I write these down? He's like, hey, yes, write them down, see what you can do. And I see some of the bottles were empty. So that right there kind of had me thinking, so we posted a camera up, and we laughed. We said, well, we'll be back in a couple days to check on the camera and to talk to you. And, and what we caught was unbelievable. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, we really got to help this guy out.
Wow.
Now, do you guys actually believe we saw a 6-foot cockroach drinking his milk and smoking his cigarettes?
It was an alien. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
No, actually, guys, he was actually sleepwalking.
Oh.
Wow.
Actually sleepwalking. He was actually go to the refrigerator, drink the milk, then put it back in the refrigerator. And the craziest thing is, and I'm glad he did not hurt himself, is smoking cigarettes while he was asleep.
Yep.
And once we saw that, it blew my mind on how precise and how good he was doing what he was doing while he was asleep.
Mhm.
I mean, it was like he was awake. And I'm like, oh my God, we got to get this guy some help.
Mhm.
So we end up calling up his doctor, telling him who we were. We got permission. And in the meantime, we were able to get online and see what some of these medications he was taking.
Yes.
And some of them was for help him to not to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So we went back, we showed him the video, and we were like, hey, we need to get you back on your meds, buddy, because what you're doing is actually dangerous.
Yes.
Mhm.
All it takes is, and he had carpet.
Oh God.
He had carpet. So can you imagine just one ash?
That's it. All it took.
Scary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, team member, they can wait. So so man, that was, and able to help this guy was such an honor and a pleasure.
Yes.
And man, we've been friends ever since.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Talking to him, he'll call me every Sunday, or if I don't hear from him, I'll call him.
Yep.
You know, just to make sure he's okay. He's on his meds, and that's a lifetime friend right there. You know, he's up in age. I'm thinking he's probably maybe 10 years older than me, but that's fine. I don't care.
Right.
Everything's a number to me, you know, but he was, I mean, and that right there tells you the difference between somebody that's having a paranormal experience and somebody's having a mental and a physical experience.
Yes.
You know, just because you're off your meds. And man, that was such an honor. And you know what? And I think God meant for that to happen.
Yep.
You know, and he's an unbelievable guy, you know, but that was one of my stories. And dude, okay, let's talk about something nobody wants to talk about.
Okay.
Hollywood. I brought it up earlier.
Yes.
You know, some people think it's BS. Some people takes it seriously. But do you guys know the people that I'm most concerned with? And you guys brought them up earlier, is the younger generation of paranormal investigators.
Yes.
These are the guys that are looking on TV or whatever channel that they look, and they are thinking this is the way this is done.
Right.
And, you know, and long story short, dude, what we do is very serious. And you can't get hurt.
Yes, definitely.
Oh yeah.
You can't get hurt. So what do you say to young paranormal investigators out there about Hollywood and what they do compared to what you guys do and how it should be done right?
One of the things that we stress when we do paranormal investigations, if we have other people that are working with us, is respect. Respect. You know, don't antagonize, don't try to make something happen. If they want to talk to you, they'll talk to you. If they don't want to talk to you, then respect that. That's just like walking up to somebody in a grocery store. If you say hello to them and they don't say hello back, you just keep walking. You don't, stand in their face and say, "Hey, I said hello. Say hello back."
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, you're not going to get a response every time, and until that spirit feels comfortable with you, you're not going to get a response. You know, as we said earlier, there's a couple places that we frequent a lot because we have the permission from the owners and their museums, their older places. And some of them are very, some of them are very popular places other people know about, but may not know that they're haunted. And so when we go to these places, we treat the spirits with respect. And if they don't want to talk, they don't have to talk. We'll try again another time. We'll try again later. But usually when we do get them talking, or we come back again the second time, we've got a rapport to where they actually call us by name.
Yeah.
You know, we've got videotapes, we've got audio tapes, we've got where we'll walk in the room and they'll say, "Kathy," or "Where's Frank?" They'll call for Beth. Is Beth here? Beth, So because we treat them with respect, just like we would anyone else. So, and we try. My son, he's 20. He just turned 23, and I tried to get him to come with us on a couple investigations. Oh no, I'm not doing that stuff. Well, finally, we got him to go with us on one, and it was the same one I was talking about with the barbershop. And the guy's talking to me, and his eyes is just like, "Oh my God, my father's talking to a ghost and having a conversation." And and we have it on. We have it all on video. We have, like I said, we play back the recorders. We have the ghost box, and he's answering. I'm asking, he's answering. We're talking back and forth. My son got intrigued by it, and now he's not afraid of it anymore. And he actually has downloaded some of the things on his phone. And we'll go someplace, and he'll say, "Hey, Dad, I wonder," and he'll try. So
Mhm.
You know, it's something that it's basically teaching the newer people, do it with respect.
Yes.
Yes, sir. And and the craziest thing is because I've talked to a bunch of kids, and the first thing they say, well, I'm gonna go do this and I'm gonna go do that, and I tell people all the time, it's it's a lot of work.
It is.
When you sitting there, if you're by yourself, it's a lot of work because you got to look at the audio, the video. There's certain, and if you're dealing with your phone, you got to be able to upload your phone to your laptop.
Right.
It's a lot of freaking work. But these
Yes.
kids today, they want to go by it the easy way instead of doing it the hard way. But the hard way is the best way because that's where you get the best results. You're
I
not-
see there's a question about asking applications on
Applications.
your phone, and Beth can answer that for you. You have to go on to your
The Google Play
Google
Store.
Play Store.
This is ghost hunting.
Yes.
So the one of them is called Ghost Hunting. It has a blue background with a black hand like this, just up against that. That's what the app will show. The other ones that we use is
Ghost Tube.
Ghost Tube,
Uh-huh.
and that has the is it Ovilus?
It's an Ovilus.
An
And it
Ovilus on
also
it.
has an SLS.
And it has it also
application.
SLS on there with the stick figures.
Mhm.
And then the other one, there's 3 of them in Ghost Tube that we use. One is the stick figure, one is the Ovilus, and one is just listening, and it will pick up anything, your recording that you hear.
And these are free apps.
Yeah,
you
they're
don't have
free.
to buy them.
And do you
And-
find there are a lot of fake applications?
Yes.
Yes.
There are some.
Yep.
There are quite a few that I've run up on. The ones that we use, we have probably used now for 3 years.
3 years or
At
longer.
least 3 years.
Yeah.
And we've gotten very good responses that
Mhm.
we could trace back to being significant to that location.
Right.
It's either a name or something that says, okay, this is telling me that this is real in regards to this location.
Well, when you find validation on an app, that
Mhm.
tells you right there that app works.
Yes.
You have to keep in mind that the one app, the Ghost Hunting with the blue background with the hand on it, is an algorithm. Once it gets into your algorithm and it starts working with you, that's when you're going to start getting a lot of answers to your questions. It gives me goosebumps just thinking about it.
Mhm.
So yeah, so these we use these all the time. Always have a charger though, because it will suck up your battery
Yes.
use.
Oh wow. Like I was saying at the beginning of the show, when you think of Baltimore, you really don't think about paranormal investigators. Baltimore's a pretty big town.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's a lot of history there.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you guys came across the Historical Society? Have you guys encountered them yet?
I have, yeah.
And how did they treated you when you asked them, "Hey, can I go into when they own or you deal with a certain location that you want to get into? How do they treat you as a paranormal investigator?"
In most cases, they are very guarded with allowing people in because they're worried. One, they're worried about liabilities.
Mhm.
If you get hurt or something happens. But we've found too that if each little town, each little part or section has their own historical society. So if you have questions about some place, a lot of times you can reach out to them and they'll give you a large background on stuff. I have a rental property that Kathy and I kind of did a little investigation in because the original owner passed away in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And so I contacted the Historical Society for that area, and they gave me a lot of information about, the area and, what it was like many years prior, because the person was trying, the spirit was trying to say that they were when we were asking who am I speaking to, they're saying Diablo. Well, Diablo is Spanish for devil.
Oh,
And I'm like, this was not a Spanish area way back then.
right.
So, we contacted the Historical Society and things like that. And they went all the way back to when the first house was built in that area. And, yeah, so they'll give you a lot of good information. But as far as like trying to get in with, a lot of these places they're very guarded about.
They don't
they let certain groups maybe, but not just everybody.
because they don't want one person to go in and then we say, oh, we went here, we went there, and then then everybody else is going to want to go there, and that's historical, or they just don't want anything to happen to that location. Yeah.
Right. I understand.
Or they're worried about the publicity that will come behind it.
Yeah.
That's why you heard me earlier say, we go to this place or that place, which I can't mention because I don't have permission from those people.
Right.
So, we keep everything, very
Respectful.
quiet, respectful, very quiet, and quiet, because unless we have permission to divulge where we go, we're not going to put that out there, because then you'll have everybody going to them, knocking at the door, calling them, hey, I hear your place is haunted. Can we investigate?
Yeah.
Well, down here, man, that's a natural occurrence. I mean, because there's a lot. Texas is so big where you're able to, somebody got an I mean, at that point, they're thinking dollar signs.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So they're gonna, find a way to make that money. So they're gonna start charging fees to go in there, which I don't know. Hey, if it's yours, do what you got to do, brother.
Right.
But yeah. Now in Baltimore, have you guys come across any other paranormal teams?
Yes. Yes, we have.
Yep.
We work closely with a group called Blazing Apparition Paranormal Society. And they are right outside of Baltimore, but they are in like the Hagerstown area, which is not too far from us. There are some other teams, but not every team likes to work as a unit. Like you said before, they want to keep to themselves. They want to share their information and everything like that, which is fine. But it makes life easier if you have a network of people that you can work with and collaborate with. Because we have a network where we'll go to West Virginia, Pennsylvania, wherever the need is. But we also have a network of other investigators where we can say, hey, we got a call from this person in Pennsylvania, and you and your team are closer. Can you handle this? And it's a mutual respect and collaboration. So it's like a big family.
Right.
And unfortunately, there's not enough of that in the paranormal world. Not necessarily in Baltimore, but I kind of get that feeling across everything that we don't work together always very well.
Right. And you know what? I totally agree with you about that. I think it needs to be a little bit more unity, and because I'm starting to see it fade away, because I'm starting to see, like you're saying, Kathy, one location and you're not able to make that location and you call somebody up. Well, what normally happens is if you do that, and then that team would say, okay, we'll go check it out, but the activity is hot. Most, man, I'm not gonna tell you, man, 60 or 70% of the time, the team that you sent, they're gonna try to claim rights to that.
Right.
And I don't think that's fair.
I agree with you. You have to have a strong network.
Yeah, it's got to be perfect. You got to have that mutual understanding, that respect, and all that, but there's a lot of, you know what? and there's some of the younger teams. They're not much of the older teams.
Right.
Some of the younger teams are pretty much like that now.
Mhm.
You know, where they try to corner one part of a city.
Yes.
The city don't even belong. It's a city. It belongs to everybody.
Mhm.
You know.
I see that with Pennsylvania, especially Gettysburg. Gettysburg is very well known for all the paranormal activity. And there are literally groups that do not want to share their information. They don't want to investigate with other teams.
They don't play well in the sandbox.
Right. And we're willing, if you call me up and you tell me that Bigfoot is in your backyard, and if I can get to you, I'm coming to your house to look for Bigfoot. It doesn't have to be a ghost. It could be Bigfoot. It could be aliens. I don't care. I'm open to investigating anything.
Well, come on, hey, because you know what? I'll be honest with you. If Bigfoot was in my backyard and I'm seeing him, you know what? It's a good chance, man. We're gonna have a fire going. We're gonna,
I'm there.
We're there.
Yes.
Hey, we're gonna drink all the bush beer we can.
Yes.
You know, and we're gonna have a good time.
Yes.
You know, and we're gonna focus on him because he is the main attraction.
Right.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Brought us together.
Yes.
Well, man, Bigfoot will have a good time. I'm like, man,
I know.
yeah, well, me and Bigfoot we would do some, hell. Show me where all the good fishing spots are, you know, just have a good time, man. I'm down for whatever, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm telling you, we're open to investigate anything paranormal.
Yep.
You know, a lot of people will look at paranormal as it's a lot broader than just paranormal. Do you guys consider that the same way?
Yes.
Everything filter into everything. Paranormal filter into Bigfoot. Bigfoot filters into alien abductions.
Yep.
And aliens. Do you guys kind of build that triangle too?
Yeah.
Yes.
I know it's a good conversation starter.
Yes, definitely.
Like you got to feel the people out first, and then we're kind of just sitting around, and then we're like, oh yeah, we're part of a paranormal. Really? And then we just takes off from there.
Okay, well, let me ask you this question then. If that whole spectrum is a triangle, who's at the top of that triangle? Who's the one that starts it all?
Spirit is at the top.
Spirits.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you don't.
I think the only reason why is because we have more information and more steady research with spirit than we do with everything else.
Okay. Well, let me ask you another question. Why do you think it's hard for us to bridge that gap between spirits and the living? It always seems that the gap it was like this, but tomorrow it can be like this. The next day it can be like that. So how us as humans are able to bridge that gap? Now, technology-wise, what do we need to do?
We can have all the technology in the world, but if we're not willing to open ourselves up to the possibility, it's not going to do us any good. If I just say to myself or to you, you know what? There's no such thing as ghosts. There's no such thing as spirits. There's no such thing as aliens, Bigfoot, whatever. Okay, that might be my personal belief. But that means that I'm very closed off to any possibility of finding out more information.
Now, do you think information, something that deep, something that heavy, is being held from us by certain people that have certain political powers in the world? Or do you think it's just something out there that we just need to figure out on our own?
I think that there is more knowledge in the political world that we don't know about because they're afraid that we cannot handle the truth. And to a degree, with the mentality of some people, they might not be able to. However, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
Right.
You know,
But yeah, you're absolutely
And
right.
there has been leaks also from people that you know are in the political field or who was in the political field who says, yeah, they were actually doing investigations on this, that, or the other because they've had a lot of sightings or a lot of information coming in from certain places, but they're not going to make it public.
Right.
And it's just like investigating spirits, because I could talk to you about it. You do investigation, so you and we understand each other. If I go to somebody else and talk to somebody else, they look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
You see things? Oh, okay. Because they don't believe. They don't believe until you show them that it's true.
Or they're afraid.
Or they're afraid to believe.
Afraid to believe, or afraid to even say anything to anyone because somebody would look at them like they were crazy, and they don't say anything. They keep it all themselves.
You're absolutely right. Another question, guys. Why do you think more people are gifted than others when it comes to being a clairvoyant, a medium, a psychic, and so on and so on? Do you think that we as people that are not as as heavy, gifted, do you think we can just automatically just cut that on and say, hey, I'm psychic too?
Yeah, I got news for you. Everybody, every child has the ability.
Yep.
Why do you think you get a lot of children that say they're afraid of this, they're afraid of that? It's because they've seen something, and when children see something, they see it for what it is.
Yep.
When an adult sees something, they say, oh, that must have been a car going down the road and that's a light coming in. Or right away, you try to start making excuses. You try to start figuring out why you've seen what you've seen, rather just accepting that you've seen something. And as the children get older, they start adopting the mentality of, oh, I got to figure out why I seen this, not I seen what I seen.
Children's minds are not cluttered. They're fresh. They haven't been destroyed.
Tainted.
Yes.
Tainted. That's a great word. Tainted. Yes.
Yeah. So because if you talk to a lot of children in investigations we've done, we've had to speak to children because children were involved in things. And then when you sit down, you talk to the child. Well, I seen this and I seen that, and this happened and that happened, and then right away the parent or the adult is like, well, I think it was this, I think it was that. No. Don't try to make an excuse for the child. Let the child tell you what they seen.
Exactly.
And when we do our investigation, come to find out, we had one child who said that that the man came in her room and was scaring her with bugs.
Yep.
Was scaring her with spiders and stuff like that. Well, we found out later in the investigation, the woman's brother,
the child's uncle,
was a collector of spiders and stuff like that, like how you collect butterflies, different kind of. Well, he did the same thing, and all he was doing was showing her different things, that collections that he had. And they tried to make excuses for all this. Oh, she's just a child. She's, she's seeing monsters under her bed, basically, And come to find out, it was the child's uncle who was just trying to communicate with her.
There you go. Hey, guys, do you know the one word that really messes us up as adults? That, and it's a word I think that never should be invented because it throws, it makes you a skeptic and it makes you say, what if?
Okay.
The word deja vu.
Yes.
Deja vu. Because when people say, "Oh man, I just had deja vu,"
Mm-hmm.
how do you know that was deja vu? Did you actually see what you actually saw it? Did you do that double take for a reason?
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, so just think if that word was never in the dictionary on how the world would be. Because every time somebody would see something, they were like, oh man, I just saw that.
Yeah.
And it would make them believers a little bit more.
Yes.
I think so. What do you guys think about that?
Oh,
Definitely.
I
agree.
I
Definitely.
agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And can I go back to Henny's question?
I was just going to answer
Yes.
that too.
Henny, in answer to your question, yes, I did have a young child spirit follow me home. I was at a location in New Jersey. She was a young child from probably the 1800s because she had on the little like white pinafore and the braids in her hair, the white little socks. She followed me home and I was able to get her crossed over, but until then, I would leave her a chalkboard and some chalk and a baby doll because, again, I had to remember okay, this child is from this type of era and leave something that she could understand.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to understand pen and paper, so she would understand a little chalkboard and some chalk and a baby doll.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I have. Thank God, I have not had anything negative follow me home.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I did have a young child spirit follow me.
But we do, we say a prayer before we go into an investigation.
Yes.
And then when we're done with an investigation, we sage ourselves.
Yes.
And we tell the spirits, you need to stay
You're welcome.
here. You stay here. You can't follow us home, but if we can come back. So luckily, Frank and I haven't had anything follow us home that I'm aware of.
That's a weird because I've asked a lot of people, a lot of psychics, a lot of mediums this one particular question. Maybe you guys can help me out with it. It's a two-part question.
Okay.
One is how do spirits manage to let's say if a child passes on, parents pass on, everybody in her particular generation passes on.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't they not be together as a family? How is it possible that a mother and a father could be in a different realm and the daughter in another realm and they can't find each other?
It does happen.
It
I
happens.
can't
It happens.
explain it, but we've had that situation within like the last year and a half.
The little girl at the
Little
wheel.
girl, yes, I was going to say the little girl at the
There
wheelhouse.
was that we were at a mill. The father was there getting flour or cornmeal, whatever, at that
Delivering
particular
hay or
time.
something.
Yeah. And she had long hair. She got her hair caught in the mill wheel and she ended up dying. I don't think that she realized that she was dead.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a recorder. She just kept playing that over and over and over again. And one night we were at the location. That spirit called every single one of us by name.
Mm-hmm.
It called me, it called John, it called Frank, and it called Beth. And we were able to cross it over. But why it wasn't there, when it died, I guess because the parents hadn't crossed over at that time. I don't know. But I have seen that happen where they just don't know that they're gone or they're afraid to cross over.
Yeah, I mean, it's really that's one of the world's, that's a universal mystery right there.
Yes.
Well, we actually had a spirit box, and because we were doing an investigation there, and we got in a circle, we held hands, we
Mhm.
prayed, we asked God to shed light for the child to be able to come back home,
Mhm.
and in the box you heard the child say bright light.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And we were like, yes, it's bright.
Go to
It's
the
okay
light.
to go towards the light.
Yeah.
And they just kept saying bright. And we
Oh,
said,
so
yes, it
expensive.
is bright,
Yeah.
but it won't hurt you. And there'll be people on the other side that'll know you.
Yeah.
And, so, we kept praying, and we were like, are you in the light yet? Let us know when you're there.
Yeah.
And you heard a faint thank you.
Mm-hmm. And the little girl's name was Mackenzie. We did.
Yeah.
We knew her name too.
That is cool. Now,
Yeah.
the second part of that question is, and I've always asked other people that are gifted with this, is are spirits able to jump in and out of certain realms? Are they able to see, even though they died in the 1800s, are they able to jump into the 21st century and, and be able to do what they want to do then?
I think they would be confused.
Yes.
But I think basically, as I said earlier, it's something that people, places, and things. You'll hear a lot of people say that, well, I'm starting to see a lot of activity going on in my house, and we're remodeling.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So, it may have been their house 60 years ago or 80 years ago or whatever, and they come back and they visit that place, because that was something special to them. Okay. Now you're changing it. You're knocking walls down. You're opening things up. You're putting in a big bay window. It's not something they had back then, and it confuses them. And you'll see the activity to start, and all it takes is for you to communicate. Hey, listen, this is year such and such, and we live here also. You're more than welcome to come and visit anytime you want, as long as you're respectful and we respect you, you respect us. Our house that we're talking to you from right now is haunted.
Yes. The house where Frank and I live at this house that we're broadcasting from, and it is haunted.
Yeah.
Yes.
The original owners of this house, when they passed away, first the husband passed away. He was laid out in the dining room,
Which is where we are.
is where we're at now. The coffin was in front of the two windows. The living room was the place where everybody sat, and then they went to the funeral home. They went to the grave site.
Yeah.
Later on, the wife passed away, and the children had her laid out here in our dining room. So we not only do we see different things, and I've told them this will always be your home. You're welcome here as long as you bring us no harm. You don't open anything for anyone else to come in. You're welcome here as long as you want.
Okay.
And
Now,
I'll lay in bed. And I'll hear women having conversations out in the hallway, and I'll say, "Hey, I had to work last night. Can we calm it down, please?" And you'll hear the back door in the bedroom. You'll hear it go click. They go to the back bedroom and shut the door.
oh man. Hey,
We have security cameras, and we catch things on our security camera.
hey, you know what? I'll be honest with you, man. I'm surprised you didn't get no backlash from that, because telling a woman to go away.
Yeah. But like I said, we have security cameras, and we've caught up those security cameras. Some of the guys I work with who came over here for cookouts and brought their wives, they tell their wives about it, and guess what? They won't come back.
They never come back since.
Oh man, I could just imagine me telling my wife I just worked. So man, I'll never what?
I want these two to tell you about the first time that I came over here to help investigate after they bought the house. You're gonna love this story.
Go ahead.
Which one was that?
When I was standing in the living room and it told me what I was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
She gets called the B word a lot.
Oh wow.
Yeah. When we were investigating over at my rental house, same thing.
And they also, Kathy has a is it your first name or middle name?
Kathy's my middle name.
Okay, so she has a first name, but she goes by her middle name.
Yes.
And we don't call her by her first name. We call her by her middle name.
Right.
And when we were over in that rental house, it came through I'm not going to say it. Thing came through the spirit box as her first name.
Yeah.
And she's like, nobody calls me that.
Right.
Nobody calls me by that name.
But it knew who she was.
It
Mhm.
knew who I was. And that's happened on a couple different, well, at least 3 locations. It happened at their rental house. It happened at a location up in Darlington, Maryland. And then it happened at Fort Mifflin in Pennsylvania, where I was with some other ghost hunters from different groups. And the guy who, at the time, we had just started ghost hunting together, everybody introduced themselves. And of course, I say, you know, hi, my name is Kathy. And, you know, if there's anybody here, can you talk to us? There was a girl standing about 3 feet from me, and her name was Kim. So she says, you know, my name is really easy. Can you say my name? It's Kim. And the spirit box says, no.
Uh-oh.
And she said, really? It's just 3 little letters. And she says, can
Nope.
no.
Nope.
Never mind.
Never mind.
She said, can you say anybody's name? Now, we had all introduced ourselves, and the ghost box says Emma. And I looked at her, I was like, what did it say? And everybody's like, who's Emma? I'm like, that's my first name. And they're like, oh. I was like, yeah. And the guy that I was ghost hunting with, my first investigator, his eyes were as big as saucers because he knew that nobody called me that.
Yep.
Well, we were at the rental house. I was upstairs on the first floor. She was down the basement, and she started laughing. And I came downstairs. I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "They called me the B word." I said, "Oh, they know you on both sides, huh?"
Yeah. I was trying to be, let me state my case. I was trying to be respectful. Okay? I was in the basement, and the spirit didn't want to talk. And I said, I understand if you don't want to talk to me. Please understand that they want answers. They just want to know who is here.
Right.
So I said, if you just talk to me now, I'll go away and leave you alone. So just go ahead and talk to me, and I'll leave you alone. And it said, bitch, just as nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She started laughing. I came down. She said, I got called it again. And I was like, oh, they know you on both sides, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I
He
just
looks like he's an investigator for me.
Oh, boy. Hey, man, I think I'll be rolling if I heard that.
Yes.
We have fun doing what we do.
Yes.
But like I said, you have to be respectful.
Yes.
You have to, you know, you can only work at it for so long, and then you have to say, okay, they're tired. We'll try again another time.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to pop this up. Now, tell me what you guys think. I mean,
I don't believe it.
good question there.
That is a very good question.
I can't see it.
Are you a skeptic?
Neanderthal ghost.
No?
That's something to really ponder, because I have not. But is it because they did not have the knowledge that we have? So it's kind of like the dinosaurs. That time period just kind of died out. And
what area would you go to investigate?
right, where would you go, and why would they be lingering around? So that's a hard one. It's a very good question, but something very difficult to try to answer.
They didn't have.
I'm going to try to put the back light on back here. You tell me, Beth.
You know
Okay.
what? I don't know if that's the case. I think everything has a soul. It's just,
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
you know, did they understand at the time what was going on?
Yeah, good question. Good answer, too, because
It's a very good question. I'm going to be thinking about that for a while. Thank you.
I have no. He's speaking in Arabic, I think.
Oh, I was just
Okay.
gonna say, I see it now.
Is there any way that you can speak in English?
You translate it into English.
Yeah, I'm not fluent in Arabic. I think that's Arabic. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah.
on what they're saying. But guys, see, there you go again.
Uh-oh.
Oh, darn it.
Oh, I wish I could understand. I
I
would love to
know.
answer the
But-
questions.
Too bad
Hey.
Al's not here.
Too bad Al's not here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He speaks Arabic.
Yeah, that'd be. Hey guys, hold on. There we go. Let's
He
see.
said Casper was toasted because kids watched a show about a dead kid.
Well, now I'm one of those kids that watched Casper, and Casper was a friendly ghost. And I guess somewhere in the back of my mind, I continued to think that ghosts were friendly.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Guys, you know, paranormal investigating costs money
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
more than what I got. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
How far are you guys willing to travel for an investigation?
As long as we can make the arrangements, I'm willing to go about anywhere.
Well, come on to Texas.
We were
What-
talking about that
Yep.
last month
We were just
after you
talking-
contacted us.
Yep.
Give us a date.
really?
Let us know when to be there.
Yep.
Man, I can take y'all to if you guys watched my live from last night at the nursing home,
Mhm.
dude, there was a cat. First of all, we were on the far side and we heard something fall. So we're like, oh man, somebody's here.
Right.
So we started walking back and we turned around the corner and we had the flashlight. Well, we all know what kind of eyes
They
that
glow.
have
Mm-hmm.
animals, they kind of glow.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I must have jumped about 50 feet.
Yep.
And you know what? And half the team, it was just me and another team member. He was in front of me. So when he jumped into me and I jumped back at him.
Yep.
So it was crazy. You know,
We've done investigations where and it was in Pennsylvania
Mhm.
where it was an inn or a hotel,
Right.
and we had it to ourselves for the weekend, and we stayed there. We spent the whole weekend there,
Yes.
and come to find out that in the basement of the place where we stayed during the wartime, they stored the bodies there.
Mhm.
That
It was a morgue.
it was a
makeshift
makeshift morgue in the basement,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
and we actually slept there and stayed there for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
oh wow.
So, yeah,
This is
we've done some interesting things, went some interesting places.
I love it.
What's that?
I'm going to have my gravestone made and it will just say, "This was your fault." Just so
oh.
it's
I
I like
love
your
it.
sense of humor.
Yes. That,
Oh, man. Hey, was it Jamel? Hey, what part of Houston you live in that you seem to?
Yes.
I'm curious to know what part of Houston you live in.
Tomorrow is smart, no need for a shovel if you eat the oven.
Oh, that is crazy. Yeah, man. Uh-oh. Let's see
He
here.
didn't like spearmint or peppermint. He liked pig.
Oh my
my
God.
lord!
I love it. I love it.
Now, are you guys? I mean, hold on. You were in Katy when you saw that,
Wow.
dude. That is nowhere near NASA.
What's that?
Interesting.
Mm.
Jamal has seen UFOs 3 times. Did it say?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, make sure when you see stuff like that, you try to videotape it with your phone
Yeah.
as quickly as you can.
Yeah, as quickly as you can, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, we might need that So when we go to Congress and show proof, we might need that because even though you show those people all kind of evidence, they still don't
They
believe.
still deny it.
Yeah,
Do you
it's
remember?
crazy.
Yeah. Do you remember? It was the 1990s, the Phoenix Lights.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Do you remember what the mayor or
Governor.
governor did?
Yep.
It brought that guy dressed up like an alien.
And tell me, yeah,
Yeah, he made everybody that reported that feel like an idiot.
yep. And you know what? Who you think coerced him to do that?
I know. But he came out later and said that he saw it too.
That's crazy.
Years later.
That is crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Man, I would never believe the government. Never.
No.
It's too much. And I came on I had a guy on the podcast from California that he was actually one of those guys that Secret Service. He was actually in the Secret Service.
Mm-hmm.
And, so if you tell me that, my mind is going to go racing. I'm going to ask you a million questions.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And, and the one question that he's always said, hey, I can't talk about that. I can't talk about that. I can't talk about that. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, what can you talk about?
Well, I'm a retired police officer from Baltimore. Okay. And we had an incident that happened where there was a house that was vacant for a pretty long time. And the guys that I worked with knew that I do paranormal investigations. So we got a call at this house that people said that the side door was open. They heard things inside and they wanted the police to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
So myself and one of the other guys go into the house, and it was daytime, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. We're walking through, and we're on the first floor, and you can hear something upstairs. So we go walking up the steps, and I'm hollering, police, police, if you're in here, just come out. We're not going to lock you up. We just want you to leave. Got to the second floor. It was nobody there. Got to the third floor. We heard something downstairs again, and we heard the door slam. The door slam. Came downstairs. I opened the door and I'm looking around. There's nobody inside. So I'm like, And the guy that was with me said, don't start none of that ghost stuff. Don't start none of that ghost stuff. So I said, listen, I need you to leave the door open, okay? Because we're working here, okay? Just leave the door open for us. So we walk back down. We got halfway down the steps to the, and he was behind me. Got halfway down the steps, and the door, you heard it go, I was getting ready to slam, and I went, what did I ask you? And it opened back up. And he said, oh, hell no, you're all by yourself. I'm out of here.
Ran out into the car.
I mean, ran out. He ran out.
Locked the doors. He locked the car doors.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's weird because I talk about this also on my podcast. Certain races are believe that you should avoid certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Me as a black man, I was raised, my grandparents always told me, if you see something that you don't understand, run away from it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But some of my Caucasian brothers, they are totally.
You want to go see what it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They will run towards it.
Yeah, drag you with them.
Now, some of my Hispanic brothers, those are the skeptics. Because you know why? Their religion doesn't allow them to believe in either or.
Right.
Like if you're Christian or Catholic, which is very heavy here, you don't believe in ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what do they say? Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Yeah, that's what they. But they don't believe in that. Now, and my Indian brothers, they heavily believe
Oh yes,
Oh yeah.
in
yes.
what's going on. But
Mhm.
their religion, the Muslim religion, is very, very. How can I say? It can be ghost friendly
Mhm.
Mhm.
at that time. All right, man. Who's bringing up? The one thing that gets me is you get on the podcast and you start talking about certain things, they bring politics into it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
You
well,
see his name.
Oh man. All right. Most Christians warn me that UFO sightings is a devil or demon. I think it's family.
I have
Yeah.
been told the same thing. I've been told, based on my religion growing up, that anything like that is of the devil.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to question that
Okay.
because
Yeah.
I think that God created everything, including other planets and other life.
Mm-hmm. Can
That's
I
just
ask
my
you?
personal
Can I
belief.
ask the panel? How many of you guys are Catholic? If any of you guys Catholic? Okay. The one thing about Catholics is that religion. That religion right there set it off for paranormal investigators. They created paranormal investigators
Mm-hmm.
because when when the Catholic Church sent Van Helsing out to investigate vampires, werewolves, and stuff like that, he wasn't called paranormal investigator at the time.
Mm-mm.
But that's what he was.
Mm-hmm.
But now, if you ask a Catholic if they still believe in this and that, they'll walk away.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh no, man, I'm not going to deal with that. But the Catholic Church is the one that got the big vault that's holding everything that can bust this whole bubble wide open if they
Yeah.
choose to.
All aboard.
Choo choo.
Yes, man. So I'm just, what do you guys think about that and the way the Catholic Church is handling, the paranormal?
It's each to their own belief, really. I mean, you really can't say one knows more than the other, or one, you know, basically has the patent on it. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
mean, it's just because one person says something doesn't make it that this is the way that it is.
Right.
I mean, we've been out there, we've seen things that, we step back and scratch our head and go, okay, we got to look into this because we don't even understand it. So just to say that one specific religion knows it all would be wrong.
Mm-hmm. I tend to agree with you. I think that the Vatican has a lot of information, and I think that they have, and I'm not going to say whether it's right or wrong. I'm not saying that, but I just think that they have a lot more information down through the years of things that we have no knowledge of. And I think that, like the government, they feel like we're just not ready to understand or to know the
Mm.
information that they have.
Okay, but the question is that right?
That's the question for every religion. Every religion thinks that they are the one true religion. The question is, how do we really know?
But yeah, are they right to hold that? You know what? Is it as me as a human being? I might not be ready for what's out there, but
Right.
nobody really is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, we have to. It's just one of those things that you just got to take that risk on.
Mhm.
You know, if anybody seen Men in Black,
Yes.
Mhm.
okay, when him and what's his name was sitting on that bench, you know, and they were talking, and he asked, well, why come the human race don't, nobody tells the human race? Because they're not ready for it.
Mhm.
But people might be ready.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And when he mean by that, he mean by certain people,
Yes. Yes.
you know, but might be ready for it. And you know what? And that always, when he made that comment, and it's always stuck in my head. Oh yeah, I'm sorry guys. That is the weather preparing us for the big snowstorm that Texas is about to get.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
Yeah, they're sending text to everybody
Yeah.
and let them know that we're possible about to get this Arctic blast. That I don't know if it came y'all's way or not.
it's coming.
It's coming.
Sunday into Monday or Monday into Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's supposed to be here today. And, you know, and they're getting the streets and everything ready, just letting everybody know to be prepared.
Yeah.
You know, we might have that week blackout where we don't have any electricity again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, but hey, but this is a good one.
It's on the paranormal.
You know, I'm not going to say that that's wrong. I am not going to say that that's wrong.
And I do believe this.
Snowstorm in
Yes.
Texas must be the global warming.
I mean, I do, cause dude, every time it switches from El Nino to El Nina,
Yes.
all of us southern states, not southern states, most of our low western states feel the effect on that.
Right, right. Baltimore is one of those places where if you don't like the weather, just give it a minute. It'll change.
Yeah, because somebody put a meme up on Facebook the other day. Okay, good morning. Do you have your flip flops, your raincoat, your winter coat, your umbrella, your snowshoes?
Yeah, right.
Let's bring the Twin Towers when these. Oh my god!
I know. I love this guy. You're
Yeah.
making me think.
Yeah, you're making me think too. Snowstorm in Texas, it's got to be global warming.
Yeah.
You know, but that's a topic for another day.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, guys. We've been on the show for an hour and 27 minutes.
Wow.
Starting with the team leader, which I forgot your first. I was going to call you by your first name, but I forgot it already.
Emma, you're the only one that's allowed to do that.
All right. Hey, if you, and I asked everybody this on the show, you got a bucket list. Everybody has one. Where would you like to go on your bucket list to investigate? Anywhere in the world.
Actually, I'm going to make that happen this year.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Can I go?
going to the Mammoth Caves in Tennessee, I believe it is.
And where?
Tennessee.
I think it's
Oh,
Tennessee.
Tennessee?
Yeah, it's either Tennessee or Kentucky. But it's the Mammoth Caves. They are very haunted. They were used as a TB ward in the 1920s because it was thought that the air in the caves was better for the patients than the air outside. Didn't work out. There were people that died down there. There was a man who was caught in equipment that was down there. So it's very haunted. And it's like 9 miles of caves. And they have, yes, definitely want to go there. And Bigfoot is supposed to be there.
Wow.
So they have a campground. I want to go camping there, go through the caves, and look for Bigfoot.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think we can do that. We can accommodate that. Long,
Yay.
that's right down the street from where you guys are at. A couple
Well,
hours,
you know
we
what?
get you there.
We're gonna go in May, so if you want to go, I'm just
Man,
saying.
if I was to go anywhere on the East Coast, it would have to be West Virginia or Kentucky.
I love you. My family's from West Virginia.
Oh man, the scenery is so beautiful,
Yes.
dude.
Yes.
The Appalachian Mountains, even though we don't hear much about them compared to the Rockies,
Yes.
but oh man, when I first seen them when I was in Tennessee, I just fell in love with it. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, dude, I can live here. And I understand why people have been living there for generations and generations because of what nature has to offer there.
Yeah.
And dude, I mean, you don't need a HEB, you don't need a Albertsons. Dude, all you need is a good bow and arrow. You go get your food, fish, do whatever you want to do. Have 50 million kids if you want,
Yeah.
and just live.
Yes.
You can't. Hey, if I were you, I'll stay out of Peru, man. There's a lot of weird stuff going on down there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, man. The government.
We went down to what was that? Sharpstown with the
Shepherdstown.
Shepherdstown. They had the movie on TV, the Shepherdstown, Ghost of Shepherdstown.
West Shepherdstown?
Yeah, well, we went down there and we investigated in the woods there that they where they showed the cross and everything in the woods, and so we made a trip down there and we did an investigation.
Oh, how'd that turn out?
We got nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Well, but the good thing about it is you went there, you experienced, and it's just like any other paranormal. You win some, you lose some.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
But if you ever get the chance to go,
Go.
it's a wonderful, quaint little town.
Yep.
So if you don't get any ghosts, go for the experience.
What about food? They serve good food.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we walked around the little town that they have down there.
The
and
bakery,
the bakery that was
Yeah.
on the that was on the show, and the people down there are wonderful. They really are really nice people, good people,
Ooh-wee.
and we walked around the town, we talked to people, we did the investigation down by the water, and we had a really good time. We had a really good time. We didn't get anything, but we got to meet a lot of nice people.
Yes.
Well, that's cool. We went, guys, I'm going to tell you something a little bit about Texas before we get out of here. When you're going through Houston on Interstate 10 and you're going towards Louisiana, you would think that would be east. You're heading east, so you think that would be East Texas.
Right.
Because you're heading east.
Right.
But no, you have to drive north, then make a left, and that's considered East Texas because they have the start of the Piney Woods starts over there in the Nacogdoches area, and so on and so on. But guys, we went to Jasper, Texas. I went to show my respect for James Byrd. We know what happened to him over there. And a little town that you talking about Bible Belt. Oh my God, dude. There is more churches in that town than there are grocery stores.
Yep.
And we went to eat at this if we're from West Texas, I have no clue on what's going on over there.
Right.
And I went to eat at this restaurant. I guess I was in the wrong part of town.
Oh God.
And my paranormal team, we're diverse. We got just about every nationality on our team. And we all went into this restaurant. Dude, did it feel like everybody stopped eating when we walked in there?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. And the lady who was Caucasian was sitting across from me. Apparently they thought me and her was together.
Yeah.
So the guys that came in, they walked through the door and I'm like, I can literally hear crickets.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, dude, this town has not changed in over 100 years. But the thing about it is when you go visit James Byrd, and the cemetery is pretty big, but still again, man, there's a church on that corner, there's a church on that corner, and there's a church on that corner. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. It's crazy how all these and it happened during Halloween. We went during Halloween.
Oh wow.
And check this out, guys. How many houses do you think was decorated with Halloween decorations in that town?
Probably not many at all.
One.
Really? Wow.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my God, dude. When you feel a certain atmosphere, when the whole town just felt strange.
Yep.
And it felt like if you didn't belong there, you shouldn't be there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God, dude. And not just me, but the whole group felt that.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my God, dude. What is wrong with this little? It looked like something. It looked like it was just a big smoke just covered the whole city. It just felt odd. And I'm like, dude, what the hell is wrong with?
Right.
I'll never go back to East Texas.
I don't blame you. Oh my gosh.
I would never go back to East. And you know what? In East Texas, it's some of the densest forest because all that forest runs up through Arkansas and keeps going all the way up. And down here, they call it the Piney Woods. And there's a lot of strange stuff. The Saratoga Lights. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that.
I've heard of them.
Is known to be in the Piney Woods. Bigfoot known to be in the Piney Woods. There's a lot of things that are happening in the Piney Woods. And those little small towns are in the Piney Woods. And I don't know what it is. It seemed like something weird is just going on in every little town. And it seemed like churches followed us. Because every time we left, I counted probably 30 churches on that main road as we were leaving. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, what the hell is going on? Let me get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we went to investigate the old sawmill.
Okay.
And man, that place right there is weird within itself because once again, it's in the woods.
Yeah.
And it just has this aura about it where something's not right.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, who's next on the bucket list?
You?
What's that?
What's
he
on your
wasn't
bucket
here.
list?
Where'd it
Oh,
go?
I'm sorry. I had walked away. What's on the bucket list? Well, we watch a lot of these shows on TV that people have went to, and I've told Kathy a few times. I've called her and I said, hey, we need to make a trip out there to the insane asylum at
Waverly Hills.
Waverly Hills.
Or Trans-Allegheny.
No, it was Waverly Hills.
Waverly Hills.
You were there one time, weren't you? Or where did you go? The one that you went to where you had your experience at.
You talking about Moundsville?
Moundsville. You went to
Moundsville.
Moundsville, right?
Yeah, in West Virginia, the penitentiary though.
Yeah, but no, the other one was the one that I was talking about that you just mentioned, where I said we need to go up there and spend a weekend. And a lot of these old jails and old institutions and stuff like that, I'd love to get into, and I would love, and like I said, I'm one of those ones that likes to spend the weekend. I want to stay there. I don't want to just do the investigation and leave. No. We're going to take the sleeping bags. We're going to take the rollout cots.
Yep.
And we're going to stay there. And, we're going to, really get the full effect.
I'll feel you.
So, yeah.
There was one that we saw on TV in Connecticut. Remember that one that I looked it up?
Mm-hmm.
I was just looking it up on my phone. If I see the name of it, I'll know what it is. Not the Griswold.
But it's like I said, you write to a lot of these places and you ask them, hey, we're a paranormal group. We'd like to get in. You never hear anything back.
Yeah. But we wouldn't even tell them that we're a paranormal group. We would just go in there and stay and do our own thing.
Yeah. But it's
Well, the new thing is a lot of places when you tell them that you're a paranormal group, they are now asking, "Have you been on TV?"
Yeah.
Oh,
So
they want the publicity.
yes,
well, the thing is, hell, everybody's been on TV.
Mm-hmm.
you know what's weird?
I mean, all I gotta do is hook my camera up to the TV. Hell, you're on TV.
Exactly. When we were down at Moundsville, if you ever watch the Ghost Adventures
Mm-hmm.
with Zach Bagan, I was sitting in the same exact spot that he was sitting in, down in the the basement of the area where Mr. Walls, who was supposed to be the warden snitch, was. He was in the shower. They 3 other prisoners caught him there. They killed him. They actually skinned him and put his skin on the wall. Okay. When we were there investigating, I am totally different from Zach Bagan. I'm not aggressive at all. I go in, I'm very respectful, So I went in and I said, Mr. Walls, I'm very sorry for what happened. I don't care what you did in life to end up in prison. You did not deserve to die that way.
Right.
Okay. I felt very comfortable. And at that time we were down there, it was probably like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. And it's an old prison. There are bats in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that there was a bat in my hair. So I told the guy, I said, can you just pan the camera around the back of my head? Because I think there's a bat in my hair. And the guy that was with us at the time was very professional, and he's got the camera and he's very slowly panning around, and he goes, Kath, there's nothing in your hair. I'm like, okay. I said, Mr. Walls, because it felt like somebody had their finger like that and just very gently was going down the side of my neck. So it wasn't aggressive. It wasn't scary. So I said, if that was you, thank you. I respect you. I'm going to leave you. We went to a different part of the prison.
Mm-hmm.
Months later, we're watching Ghost Adventures, and Zach is sitting in the same exact spot that I'm sitting in, the same stupid metal folding chair that I'm sitting in. Well, he's very aggressive. And on his recorder, you hear a spirit say, look up, I'll kill you.
Oh, shish.
But when we were there, we got nothing. We got nothing aggressive, nothing. I felt very comfortable. I felt very secure.
Mm-hmm.
So, it depends on your way that you investigate.
And Beth and I was just in San Francisco a couple months ago. We went in September. We went to Alcatraz.
Mm-hmm.
We took a ferry out to Alcatraz, and we did a tour of Alcatraz. And we really didn't get a whole lot in the general population area, but the one area where they had the they called it the hole, where you got thrown in, because it was like a double cell. You had the cell, the door shut, and then you came out, and then another door shut. I walked in a couple of those, and I was standing there, and I had my phone, and I was asking questions, and all I got was a sigh. Like, somebody else asking me questions too.
Oh, wow.
But but we did the tour of Alcatraz, where Al Capone's jail cell was, the laundry that they worked at was the Birdman, and it was
the 3 guys that escaped.
The 3 guys that escaped from Alcatraz, and so it was pretty interesting. It was really interesting, but we didn't get a whole lot. We didn't get a whole lot there either.
Right.
Yeah, I mean it's weird because some of these big locations that are paying a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
dude, there's a good chance that you might not. You you might lose your money.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You might. Guys, you guys are in Baltimore.
Mhm.
Are there any okay, because down here we have a lot of urban legends. Do you guys have any urban legends in Baltimore?
Not really. The closest one is in New Jersey, the Jersey Devil.
The Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had lunch with him last week, man.
See, I knew I missed my opportunity.
Cool guy. Hey, you know what? Some of the things that people say about him, it's not true. You know what? And he really don't like called the New Jersey Devil. I mean, that's a hockey team. Here's the thing: if he's not getting some royalties from that, he's very upset about it.
I don't blame him. I would be too.
He's very upset about that. But hey, we're having lunch next week. He's buying this time. I bought last time. So yeah, man. So there's really no kind of urban legends in.
Well, the thing is like where we live at. We live in the Sparrows Point area, the North Point, Battle of North Point. We live right in the center of that, right here. So we have Fort Howard, where they did the where they had the war there. We're right near the Inner Harbor, where they had Fort McHenry. So we're like right in the middle of all the down here, and we have investigated at Fort Howard, and Fort Howard every year has the old jail cells that they have down there. They decorate them. And they open it up to the public. They charge, of course, to come through to, and it's like a haunted house type thing or whatever. And there was a guy taking pictures of the old jail cells and things like that. And he had said to one of the coordinators, hey, that was a pretty good idea, putting a Civil War outfit or Civil War person standing by the jail cell. That looked really authentic. And they said, we didn't have any Civil War people. He said, sure you did. I have a picture of it right here. And it wound up making the newspaper here.
That's crazy. Man, that's a 1 in a million shot right there.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
You rarely ever get shots like that, but when you do, you gotta scoop that bad boy up. All right, where did my friend go? She left. Where'd she go?
Oh, she's here.
She's here. She's throwing more wood in the fireplace.
Yeah.
Good old fireplace. Well, hey.
This is on fire patrol.
The only way I can keep warm up there, man, I gotta have my twins. I gotta have my brothers with me. Man, I gotta have Johnny Walker and Jim Beam.
There you go.
We wanted to be sober when we did this, but we're gonna hit that later.
That's right.
Yes, sir, Matt. Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters.
Hey, Matt is one of our investigators.
Matt Lutman.
Yes, we love Matt.
Well, Matt,
awesome investigator.
Matt, you missed out, man. We've been having a good time. Great conversation. All right. Who's next for the? Where would you like to go on your bucket list?
Me?
You.
Gosh.
We've been so many places.
I know. We have. A bucket list for me to go is Hawaii, but I don't know if they have. Well, they might now.
After what
happened over there. I really don't know. Wherever they go, I go. I'm the case manager for the team, so I do a lot of research before.
Well, if you're the case manager, then you should be wanting to go more than anybody because you're doing all the research. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of people that I've talked to want to go to Ireland. They want to go to, New York City to investigate the subways. There is so much unexplored places that you should.
I would really like to go to an asylum, wherever. It doesn't matter what state, but I would really like to go to an asylum. Real quick, a story that we were up in Pennsylvania. We went to it was a welcome center, and the welcome center used to be a bank, but now it's a welcome center. And we also got to investigate the jail. Well, there was outsiders that came in to do the investigation as well. So while the rest of the gang was downstairs in the solitary confinement, Frank and I went and did our own thing upstairs in the jail.
The male
Cells.
section
Yeah,
of
there's
the jail.
Male section was on one side, female was on the other. So I am walking around with headphones on and listening to my spirit box. He's asking questions. I cannot hear him. I'm walking around. He's sitting stationary, and he comes running up to me, and I'm just walking in and out of the cells that they had opened for you to walk into. And he comes up freaking out, and I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And he said, I asked the question, who's in the cell? And they said, girl.
They said girl.
They said girl. Well, I'm a girl.
When I asked the question, as she was saying, she couldn't hear. She couldn't hear what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
So she's walking in and out. I'm out in the hallway area, and I'm like, is anybody here? And I'm waiting for her to give an answer. She didn't answer. I said, is there anybody here with us? And she's going, girl, because she's yelling out what she's hearing
on the spirit box.
Because she's got headphones on. And I said, is there anybody here with us? And she says, girl. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, well, who is the girl? And they didn't, and she didn't say anything. I said, where is the girl at? And it said,
I said 7.
7.
So unbeknownst to me, before going in, because I'm walking around with my head down, each cell had a number above it. And I was in cell 7.
Oh, wow.
I get goosebumps every time.
So I'm asking questions. She can't hear it. She's just yelling out what she hears coming through the box. And I was getting my answers. There was a girl on the male side. That was her. Where's the girl at? 7. Well, I went to look to see where she was at, and she was in cell 7.
He was freaking out.
Oh, wow.
That was crazy. That was just crazy.
I can imagine.
And then we did another place where we go in Gettysburg, and I was in another part of the room, and they were out in another part of the room. Again, had the headphones on. They're asking questions. I'm blurting things out. We come to find out that it was a soldier, and it was very loud in this area outside of where we were. And this soldier was afraid because they're not used to the traffic, the sounds. And so, do you remember that? Remember when we did that? So that was very interesting. And so we switched places. Kathy writes down everything I'm saying and writes down the questions and write down what I am blurting out. So we have a good team. Yeah.
So it goes back to what you were saying before about can they come back in a different era? And I would say yes, because in this situation, you had a soldier who was disturbed by the sounds going on outside, cars, which they didn't have cars back then. You know, so cars, groups of people, you know, laughing and yelling and all this kind of stuff because there was bars, there was restaurants. It was like a town square where we were at. And so the soldier was upset about all the noise they were hearing outside.
The riffraff.
You know, so, and, you know, we're talking about back in, you know, the time of the war compared to last year when we were there.
Right.
That was last year.
Oh, wow. Interesting. All right, guys, 1 hour and 53 minutes.
Woohoo!
Tell the world how to get a hold of you guys.
Well, you can find us on Facebook at Berkeley Paranormal Society. You can call us. You can email us. I will give you I love Gettysburg. We go every year. So, Terry, I want to get in contact with you while we are in Gettysburg to let you experience it with us.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Virtually.
Yes. Yeah, we want to do a virtual thing so that you can
That would be awesome.
Because there are going to be 4 teams there.
Yeah, we do every year we do 4 teams that go together, 4 paranormal teams.
Now, can you imagine one quick story right quick? Can you imagine actually going to doing a virtual location at a haunted historical city. My friend of mine went to Nagasaki.
Oh,
Oh my God, dude. The first, can you imagine that?
wow.
And
Well,
she,
yes, I can, because when we were in Virginia with one of the cases that she was just talking, when she was talking to you before about the child,
Yeah.
Mhm.
we have a gentleman who was involved in one of the four groups that we go every year to Pennsylvania and stay in this hotel, and so he was virtual with us while we were doing this this investigation, and was able to pick things up that was
Yes.
going on.
Oh, that's
Just yeah,
Oh,
just
that's right.
virtually.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he was saying, I'm seeing, this is what I'm seeing, and this is what. So, Albert has a lot of abilities.
Yes.
Mhm.
And he was able to tell us what he was seeing, what he was feeling, and it was exactly what the child and the child's mother had described to us. We gave him no information.
Yeah,
Oh
blind.
wow, that is cool right there.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to be going in February. I think it's the weekend of 16th, 17th, and 18th.
Are y'all trying to get me to drive 18 hours to Kentucky? To where is
Well,
that?
you're
No,
more than
no,
welcome to.
to.
no, you can fly.
However-
It's a lot faster.
Yeah.
However, if you
Flap
could
those
schedule
wings,
some
Terry.
time,
But none of y'all wanted to fly down here and volunteer to drive us there. That's the way.
I will.
Road trip.
Yep.
Oh man, that you know what? I would love to make it there, guys. I mean, I would love to go to that place.
But
Man.
we'll have to do it. We'll have to do it virtual. I want you to be there and see the location and meet some of the other members of the group.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this.
We could. Yes.
Yes.
I was going to say that, but I didn't know if I
Yeah.
should or not. Do you know what he has?
Does he have the ecto?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
He's got to send me a picture of that.
Yes, Matt. Send him a picture.
There's another team that also has one.
And it's two.
It's a GMC Ecto.
Yep.
And when the two of
Wow.
them are together, it's absolutely amazing. The town square stops when they drive through.
When they drive
Because we
through
have
it,
the lights and the sirens.
do the kids even know what that is?
Yes.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yes.
I definitely got to see that. All right, guys. You know what? It has been a pleasure talking to you.
It's been wonderful.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it, man. You guys made me laugh. It was so funny.
Well, this won't be the last time. I promise you. You
Well,
and I
I
will
hope
be in
not. And
contact.
yes, I will. And you know what? And this is what a podcast is all about:
Yes.
getting to know the people that you have on your show, and just enjoying one another. And that's what a podcast is all about.
Well, look at Frank and I. We've never met you before, and we're like, he's family already.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, you know what? Okay, family.
Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna hit
If
you
you
in
want
the
to come up
pocket.
to Baltimore, you got a place to stay.
Yep, you got a place to stay.
Well, I got family in Baltimore.
Oh, well, there
Well,
you go.
there you
There you go.
But it might not be the side of town that I will want to go on. But I got family in Baltimore.
Hey, I told you I'm a retired police officer. I've been in all four corners of that town.
Yeah, Baltimore
Ooh.
City.
Man, hey, you know what? And Baltimore on certain parts is pretty rough.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Oh my God. Hey, you know what? And I thought East Texas was bad with the tumbleweed, but man.
Oh, now tumbleweeds I can't do.
I'll be
Tumbleweeds
lost.
are evil.
She'll get lost.
But you know what? People are buying tumbleweeds on eBay to put in their yard.
No, they're evil.
I don't even know
There
what
should
the
be
hell.
no reason something that doesn't breathe should be able to move like that. No.
Hey, I've seen tumbleweeds tear up sides of people's cars.
There you go. I rest my case.
Well, when
Your
I say
Honor.
tumbleweed and you'll get lost, all I can see is a tumbleweed and you're rolling with it.
Yeah,
That's all I
right?
can think of.
Those little boogers. Hey, have y'all ever seen that movie with the little ship come down with aliens and what is that movie? And they look like giant little squirrels, and they get together. In order for them to move, they got to ball up and move around. But I can't think of the name of that movie.
Gremlins.
No, it's not.
No,
Gremlins.
not Gremlins. They call something else. But but man, those tumbleweeds are just like those things. So you gotta be careful, man. I've seen a tumbleweed actually put a tire on flat.
Oh no. Sorry. I love you dearly, but I'll come visit you as long as there's no tumbleweeds.
Well, hey, they're not too far, man. They're about 60 miles. Once you get into West Texas, it's a whole new deal. It's a whole
Okay,
new
well, we
ballgame.
want to go 60 miles past your house.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank
We
you for
love it.
having us.
It's been great, like I said before, man. But I'd like to get more members on the team to come join us next time.
Yes.
And hopefully, I'd like to get the whole aspect of the team, because every team members are different. They might think a little different. You never know.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, it's been great. You guys stay warm up there.
Yes.
You stay warm as well.
Yeah, dude. And what's so quick? I think it's came already because I can feel the temperature drop in the apartment. Yeah. So, and they sent out the alarm. But anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Anytime. And I'm gonna hold you guys to that on that virtual thing.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, let her put her email out there just in case we have anybody that needs us.
Yes, it's Berkeley Paranormal Society at gmail.com.
All right. Hey, if not, you can call. I called them.
That's right.
Because when I called you guys, when I called you guys and I say Berkeley, the first thing that hit my mind, right? I didn't think you guys was in Baltimore. I thought you guys was in California. No, I thought you guys was in Cali.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Okay. Nope.
Because Berkeley, it sits. I think University of California is in Berkeley.
Berkeley.
Yep.
So I thought you guys were out there, but California paranormal investigators, they're hard to get a hold of because of the time difference.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're far. And man, there's so much going on out there on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't got time to talk to me anyway.
We always have time to talk.
We always have time.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, guys, this is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast, sitting here in the Lion's Den. Hey, I just had a great team on the show. If you want to reach out to them, feel free to. They just gave you all their information, and they are willing to take you in for 6 months if you guys want to come over there and hang out.
I love you.
So if you guys want to do that, feel free. But in the meantime, hey, I got to find me another podcast because my 7 o'clock podcast, they're kind of sick. So maybe I just might interview myself. I always laugh at myself anyway. But anyway, hey, you guys enjoy. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too.
Peace. Bye, guys.